In this video, I'll be discussing purpose clauses and showing you some examples in our story from chapter 53, Cornelia Gets Married. So I'm looking at this sentence at the bottom of the first paragraph where I've got anculae hu concursibat ut omnia pararent. And we've seen a lot of different uses for it so far. The most recent one that we looked at was the indirect command, and we can actually see an example of that right here. Aurelia Hortabator was urging Marcus and Sextus to hurry. So that's, what she was urging or encouraging them to do, and it's like she gave them this command, hurry up. So now I've got another use of it, though. My verb in the main clause is not a verb of commanding or wanting or wishing or saying or anything like that. So I can't have an indirect command. So let's look at the main clause first. I've got the anculae, the handmaidens, concursibant, we're running, hukaluk, to and fro, and this way and that, however you want to handle that. And then my other information is this word ut. We'll figure out what to do with that. Omnia pararent. So they paro, parare, paravi, paratus, prepare, get ready. Omnia, everything. So what is the relationship between the slave women were running here and there, and they were preparing everything? So the connection between these is the idea of in order to, or I'll put in order to, but usually you can just say to and that'll work out. So the handmaidens were running here and there to prepare everything. So this shows the purpose of the main verb. So here's my main verb, and the reason that they were running to and fro was to prepare everything. So we call that a purpose clause, and it starts with this word right here, ut. If the purpose clause is negative, so that not, then we'll use a ne, plus what kind of a verb is pararent with that are in there? Yeah, subjunctive. So another use of the subjunctive. And if it is positive, we're using ut, you'll say to, in order to, or so that. Let's do to, in order to, or so that. Whoa, that does not say so that says show that. So that. And if it's negative, so if I'm using the ne, then you'll say something along the lines of so that not. And that's going to be our best option. So that not. So by now in your notes, you should have this example written out. You should have the formula of the purpose clause, and you should have those translation options. So we'll go over those again real quick in just a minute after we've seen another example. So I'm just going to scroll us down, and we'll see a nice example all the way at the bottom of the story where we see that when they had come, domum, when they had come home, right? Noah nupta, the new bride, sublata est, was carried, super limum, above the threshold, and here it is, ne labораtor. So I see ne plus a subjunctive. And I didn't have anything like any kind of verb of commanding or anything like that, so I know that I don't have an indirect command. So this ne is showing the negative purpose. So when they had come home, the new bride was carried over the threshold so that she, ne labораtor, she wouldn't fall. You could also say so that she didn't fall, that's fine too. And so that's what we're doing. We're showing why was she carried over the threshold. She was carried over the threshold so that she would not fall. So to review, a purpose clause shows the purpose of the main action. The second thing we need to remember is that ut is introduces it if it's positive, ne if it's negative. And for translation, we'll say so that not, or if it's positive, you can say to, so that the not is if it's an A only. Obviously, that we would say so that not. We can also say to, we can say in order to, and those will pretty much work us through most of these situations. So that's a purpose clause. For your practice, so for practice, we're going to go straight into trying some of these. So in your book, exercise 53B, which is on page 126, you're going to do number 1 and number 4. And as you're doing these, what you need to do is write it out in Latin, underline the purpose clause, parse all verbs, so the main verbs and the subordinate verbs, and then translate the sentence. Do your best. If you get stuck, that's fine. That's why it's practice. Come in and ask questions tomorrow. But try to do your best to translate the entire sentence. Thank you.